Caitlin Clark with 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Here's Clark on her return.
Caitlin Clark didn't simply join the WNBA. She blew it wide open. Historic stat lines, sold-out arenas, and a future suddenly valued in the billions. But when established veterans began taking aim at the league's new centerpiece, the consequences were immediate. The real question became this: what happens when one player becomes untouchable? Diamond DeShields would learn the answer the hard way. One reckless shoulder check was all it took.
For the moment that made headlines, this right here, the hard foul involving Clark and Kennedy Carter.
And just like that, the WNBA's Golden Girl was at the center of a storm. Careers unraveled. Players vanished. Not because they lacked talent, but because they crossed a line no one else dared to cross. Caitlin Clark. This isn't just a basketball story. It's about money, influence, and the unwritten laws that govern professional sports. By the end, you'll understand why some believe the WNBA is finally safeguarding its future, and why others fear it's creating a system where one player outweighs the rest. Stay with me. This gets far messier than it looks. To understand why Diamond DeShields would later be crying inside a rental car surrounded by cardboard boxes, you first need to understand what Caitlin Clark did to the WNBA.
Diamond is in a world of pain.
In just 12 months, Clark didn't ease her way into the league. She arrived like a comet, and the shockwaves are still expanding. By the end of her 2024 rookie season, the 22-year-old point guard from Iowa had claimed Rookie of the Year honors while rewriting the record books. She poured in 769 points and dished out 337 assists, obliterating every first-year mark the league had tracked. She logged 2 triple-doubles, a feat many guards never touch across an entire career. She casually pulled up from the logo, shots that make NBA players hesitate. And everywhere she went, attendance records collapsed. Indiana Fever crowds surged to 643,000 fans. Yes, 643,000. They outdrew the next closest team by more than 200,000. 3 arenas cracked the 20,000 mark just to watch her play. League-wide attendance jumped 48% in a single season. Sellouts tripled.
Now the WNBA cashing in on its recent surge in popularity, scoring a media rights.
Television numbers followed the chaos. Primetime ratings surged 170% over the previous year, dragging revenue along with them. League-wide merchandise sales spiked by over 60%. Sponsors who had ignored the WNBA for decades suddenly rushed to sign deals. Shoe contracts appeared overnight. Beverage campaigns rolled out. Promotional spots that once avoided individual stars now revolved around a single face. Networks quietly floated talks of a post-2026 media deal valued in the 9 figures annually, numbers that would have sounded absurd just 3 years earlier. Inside league circles, Caitlin Clark earned a blunt title, the cash cow, the golden goose.
Clark for the lead.
She became the financial engine that finally made the WNBA's decades-long dream of profitability feel real. Clark wasn't just Rookie of the Year. She was the answer to every economic prayer the league had whispered since 1996. But being the most important player comes with a cost. Every spotlight creates shadows, and in those darker corners where cameras don't reach and endorsements never arrive, resentment brewed. Jealousy hardened, and some players decided that if they couldn't share the spotlight, they'd make sure the Golden Girl felt their presence. The hard fouls began early, before Clark had even played 20 games. Then came the moment that changed everything. June 1st, 2024. Sold out arena. National television. Indiana versus Chicago. The stakes mattered more for ratings than standings. The play itself was routine. Clark released a pass and turned up court. Her eyes tracked the ball. She never saw what was coming. Kennedy Carter didn't reach for the ball. She didn't contest a shot or fight through a screen. She launched shoulder first into Clark's back with force better suited for a football field.
Day after the WNBA upgraded a foul by Kennedy Carter on Caitlin Clark to a flagrant 1, Carter saying she has no regret.
Clark crashed to the floor. The whistle blew. Officials huddled. After review, the call was upgraded to a flagrant 1, not a flagrant 2. No ejection. No real punishment. A warning without teeth. The clip exploded online within hours. Every major sports account ran it. Analysts broke it down frame by frame. Lowered shoulder, deliberate angle, 0 attempt on the ball. This wasn't tough defense. It was targeting. Carter made it worse by refusing to back down. No apology, no remorse, just social media defiance.
I think I got hit in the head the play before, and it was just like one of those things that was in the heat of the moment. You know, I don't know Caitlin. I don't know her from any.
Side-eye memes, cryptic posts, the kind of behavior that screams regret-free louder than any press conference. The basketball world waited for consequences. None came, at least publicly. Carter finished the game. No suspension, no meaningful fine. The league issued its standard statement about reviewing plays and protecting players, then moved on. But the damage was done. That hit was too visible, too intentional, too clearly aimed at the league's most valuable asset.
This physical moment involving the WNBA's most high-profile rookie raising questions.
And while official discipline was minimal, unofficial punishment quietly took shape. By training camp in 2025, Carter's phone stopped ringing. Teams in need of guards passed. Her agent reported silence from front offices that once showed interest. Overseas league rumors surfaced. YouTube vlogs appeared, the digital breadcrumbs of a player running out of options. Marketability analysts used one word to describe her status: radioactive. Too risky to touch. The flagrant foul didn't end her career, but who she fouled might have. And Carter was only the beginning. Diamond DeShields' mistake would be far costlier. If Carter's hit was a warning shot, DeShields ignored it entirely. She wasn't a fringe player. She was a proven star.
DeShields pokes it away. Diamond DeShields in for another bunny.
A third overall pick in 2018. A WNBA champion with Chicago in 2021. An Olympian. A veteran with endorsements and a resume meant to guarantee job security. She represented the old guard, the players who built the league before Caitlin Clark became a household name. Then, late in a blowout during the 2024 season, she made a decision that changed everything. Clark cut through the lane without the ball. DeShields squared her up. Cameras caught every angle as she lowered her shoulder and drove Clark violently to the floor. No play on the ball. No basketball purpose. Just force, excessive and deliberate. Slow motion replays told the whole story. DeShields loading up, adjusting her path, maximizing impact. Clark folding to the hardwood. And then the moment that sealed it, a performative hand extended to help Clark up. An oops gesture that fooled no one. Officials called another flagrant one. Again, no ejection, no suspension, no fine. Clark stood up, sank the free throws, and play resumed. But this time, the aftermath didn't fade. Replays dominated coverage for days. Entire podcast episodes dissected the hit. Words like calculated, premeditated, and assault filled the discourse. Sponsors grew uneasy. Millions invested in the league's new era were watching their centerpiece get hammered on national TV without protection. Calls poured into league offices. Pressure built. Behind closed doors, something finally gave way. Chicago let Diamond DeShields walk at season's end. The dominoes had fallen.
Diamond DeShields wants to make sure every young kid has a chance to see more and be more.
No farewell post. No thank you graphic. No press conference acknowledging her championship years. Just silence, the kind that says more than any official statement ever could. New York Liberty, desperate for veteran depth, took a low-risk chance and signed her. Then they benched her. Then they cut her. Her stint in New York lasted weeks, not months. Whatever the Liberty saw in practices or inside the locker room, it wasn't worth the baggage she carried. Connecticut tried next. The Sun needed guard depth. DeShields needed a reset. For a brief moment, it looked like redemption might be possible. Then came May 15th, 2025. 2 days before opening night, Connecticut released a press statement so cold-surgical. 2 days before the season, too late to find another roster, too public to bury. This wasn't basketball. This was a message. Hours later, DeShields posted on Instagram. Sitting in a rental car, cardboard boxes stacked behind her. Her life reduced to whatever fit in the back seat. She fought tears while trying to explain how everything had fallen apart.
Just how challenging the season was. To have been the last team standing, despite the 14 losses, and the difficulty of our conference.
Trying to process how a career collapsed in 9 months. No team, no contract, no roadmap forward. The video went viral, but sympathy was gone. The comments were merciless. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Karma doesn't miss. Maybe don't assault the league's best player. Public opinion had ruled, and there was no appeal. This is where the story becomes complicated. The WNBA never officially punished Diamond DeShields for what followed. There was no suspension notice, no lifetime ban, no commissioner at a podium declaring exile for targeting Caitlin Clark. On paper, DeShields received the same flagrant one foul dozens of players receive every season. On paper, she served her penalty and should have moved on like everyone else. But paper doesn't pay salaries, and reality tells a very different story. Agents across women's basketball now whisper about something called the Clark Clause. It's not written anywhere, not in contracts, not in the CBA, not in league memos, but it exists in front office conversations, in agent negotiations, in risk calculations made behind closed doors. The Clark Clause is simple. Sign someone who targeted the league's most valuable asset, and you inherit the consequences. Sponsors ask questions. Media coverage gets uncomfortable. Fans, who arrive because of one player, have opinions. And suddenly, a roster decision turns into a brand liability.
How huge of fans they are. Look at that poster, Caitlin. It would be enchanting to meet you. Are you kidding me? The custom shirts.
In a league where financial margins are still razor thin, that risk is often too much. Whether this is an unofficial directive from league leadership or just collective self-preservation doesn't really matter. The outcome is identical. DeShields hasn't received a legitimate contract offer since Connecticut cut her. Carter's phone remains silent despite her talent. Other players who delivered questionable fouls on Clark during her rookie season watched their careers bend in unexpected ways. Opportunities vanished. Roster spots went to less skilled players with cleaner reputations. The league quietly created a 2-track discipline system. The official track lives in the rulebook: free throws, flagrant calls, minor fines, equal punishment on paper. And then there's the unofficial track, where certain actions trigger consequences no rulebook acknowledges, where the market becomes the enforcer, where careers don't end with suspensions, but with silence. Some call this justice. They argue Clark absorbed hit after hit while the league did nothing. They say players knew exactly what they were doing and are now facing deserved consequences. The system is protecting its most important asset, even if it's doing so quietly. Maybe that's how it has to work. Maybe some lines shouldn't need hit to a player not tied to 9-figure media deals. Would she still be unemployed? Everyone knows the answer. And that answer exposes something uncomfortable beneath the league's public policies.
Well, Caitlin now with 20 points.
The practical reality pretends it had nothing to do with it. DeShields' downfall cracked open tensions long buried. Race is undeniably part of the conversation. Clark, a white guard from Iowa, entered a predominantly black league and instantly became its biggest star. Endorsements flooded in. Media coverage exploded. Opportunities appeared that veterans never received. Some resentment has nothing to do with Clark herself and everything to do with what her success represents. The reality that marketability in American sports still favors certain narratives. But race isn't the only divide. There's also old guard versus new blood. Veterans who spent years fighting for relevance watching a rookie rear-able player absorbed repeated hits. Why were official penalties minimal while unofficial consequences were devastating? Some analysts suggest something more direct. They believe NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, deeply invested in the WNBA's growth, quietly made it clear that cheap shot optics wouldn't be tolerated.
Besides telling us Clark rattles her second three.
No memo leaked. No public directive. But front offices swear phones rang while Clark-related controversies dominated headlines. Whatever happened behind closed doors, the message landed. Hurt the ticket seller, lose your job. Welcome to the new reality. The 2025 season opens under brighter lights and harsher scrutiny than ever before. Teams now plan in 2 columns. One is basketball, schemes, rotations, defensive coverage. The other is optics. You can trap Clark. You can contest every shot. That's competition. But the moment physical defense turns into targeting, cameras will catch it, social media will amplify it, sponsors will react, and consequences will follow. Coaches now warn rookies about camera angles alongside defensive assignments. Sponsorship teams sit courtside with crisis response drafts already written. Every foul on Caitlin Clark will be replayed endlessly before the game even ends.
Around, evades Van Lith, and drains it! My goodness!
Every questionable hit will be dissected. Every moment of excessive contact carries career-ending risk. Some veterans worry the pendulum has swung too far. That fear will replace physical defense. That hesitation will erode competition. Others shrug. Protect the brand. Accept the reality. The league finally has financial momentum, and that stability depends on one player staying healthy. If protecting her requires new behavioral boundaries, that's business. Insiders say behavioral conduct language now appears in standard contracts, carefully worded clauses about targeting marquee players. Explicit punishments remain mild. The implicit warning is not. Break the unwritten rules, and waivers may be mercy. As Caitlin Clark's rise continues and Diamond DeShields fades from relevance, one question lingers. How far will the WNBA go to protect its future? The league is rewriting its rules without admitting it. And every player now understands the stakes. With every possession, every decision, they must ask themselves, am I playing the game or am I playing the system? This isn't just basketball anymore. It's power, profit, and the hidden cost of stardom. The next chapter is already unfolding, and when the dust settles, not everyone will still be standing.